Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty neat place.
Amazing, just amazing.
Thanks. Okay, let's begin. I trust everyone at home can hear. All right. So again, welcome to the 2022 annual general meeting. And I just want to say a few things about the annual general meeting. This is an opportunity for us to look back at the previous year. I think so. Is it? Yeah. Thank you. We are not incorporated or a charity, so this isn't really something we have to do to satisfy any business requirements, but we do report to the national office with a secretary's report and a financial report. And but it's also a good way for the council to report to the membership and for us to all remember the activities from the previous year. I certainly want to recognize our supporters here at the university and especially our honorary president, Dr. Krill, Uli Krill, who's a great supporter, and we very much like having him on council as our honorary president. We have two new astronomers at the university who have been hired in the last year. Dr. Leah Hirsch, who many of you met, and she's given a talk to the center. And recently, Dr. Marta Bryant, who I met recently when we were here checking out the room. We also have a close connection to the Riverwood Conservancy, and we appreciate the relationship we have with them to support our outreach, which we have been running since 2009. This year is the 20th AGM for our organization, believe it or not, as the Mississauga Astronomical Society started 20 years ago. So let's look at the agenda. So I won't review the agenda. It was published in the recent issue of Messenger. So let's move on to the adoption of the minutes from the 2021 annual general meeting. So the way we'll do this is I will call for a motion for someone to move a motion and second. And I will take, I am assuming that everyone on the meeting is a member in good standing. So when I ask for someone to move a motion and to second, I will look in the room, but also Rob is looking. So if you are making a motion, or if you are seconding a motion, or if you wish to respond, please put your hand up online and put your hand up in the room. So I will ask for a motion of the adoption of the minutes from our 2021 annual general meeting. Motion. Steve Malia moved, and Alan Connery second. Any comments, questions, corrections? Okay, then I will call the question, and it's probably easier to say, is there anyone opposed to the motion of the adoption of the minutes? Anyone online? Okay, so moved. The next item is the president's report. A lot of what I've been involved with over the last year is related to the activities of the various committees. I just want to take the opportunity to thank the members of our council. They're all very hardworking. They are all doing various things, working on different committees. I definitely want to recognize the editor of our newsletter, Betty, for doing an excellent job. Betty. The program is a lot of work, setting up the program. And I've had help from Swapna and Anil this year. So thank you both, Swapna and Anil. The telescope loan has been extremely active, and Alan will talk a little bit about that, but I think it needs to be recognized that it's a lot of work. And he now has some help from Mateo. So that's great. So thank you both, Alan and Mateo. We held an amazing picnic in June. It was nice to have the awards picnic up and running again. And the prime instigator was Val Connery. Thank you, Val. So the thing is, for each picnic, you then have to top it the next year, right?
I know, I'm looking for license.
Yeah. Okay, so Val licensing picnic. The astrophotography contest has been rejuvenated, brought to life. So thank you, Rob, for doing that, and his team, the judges. I want to thank all of our volunteers who helped out at Riverwood at the various events. That the support we get at Riverwood is amazing. And we also had a UTM star party. We had a lot of participation there. So thank you to everyone who continues to help out with our public outreach. I think that's, and I want to recognize Shariah Nake, who is one of our younger members who has been helping with social media. She's been helping me do postings. So I'm not sure if Shariah is on the, but hopefully it'll get back to her. That appreciate her help very much. One person who has been a real base and foundation of this organization for a long time in his participation and contribution is our membership secretary, John Marchese. John, excellent. Now, usually I forget somebody. Yeah. But anyway, our committee, our council, our committees are, they make the center go. And we've got a great team. I am looking for new blood to help with committees and ultimately to come on to council. Because with an organization like this, if you have the same people running it and you don't introduce new blood, then it sort of, you need some changes. You need some new ideas. And so we're always looking for people to help out. And I put a call out for volunteers for committees, and I got a great response. So we've got some new people coming on to help this year, which is ideal. A lot of my time this past year has been getting us back into this room, or a room. And I want to thank the University of Toronto Chemistry and Physical Sciences Department, especially the chair, Lindsay Schoenbaum, for helping us to come back and now run joint meetings with the faculty, the Chemistry and Physical Sciences faculty. And I think that'll be a real benefit to both us and to the department And we'll get more of the university students involved, especially the physics club, who are very keen to participate in our programming. So I know there are many centers that have not gone back to in-person meetings yet. And so I think we're very fortunate to be able to do that. That's all I had to say. So the next item is our vice president, Alan Connery. And I don't know what this guy does. So.
Yeah. Well, my position as vice president is to be the chief puppy dog, following in Randy's footsteps. So I find out, I try and help wherever possible, but it also puts me in a position where I see how much work this man puts in. So I want to thank Randy for all that he gives to this club. Without Randy, this would be a shadow of its current position. So I'd like to. Other than Betty, I probably know what he puts into this club. But again, you know, I really am there just to help out. I will have more to say about finances, so.
Well, thank you. The next is the secretary's report. Swapna was unable to be with us for the meeting, but she did, as she does as secretary, wrote up a report. She wrote up actually two versions of annual reports, one for the national annual report, which has been scaled down a little bit to a one-pager, but a longer version for our newsletter. And it's every now and then I go back and look at previous secretary reports just to see what we've done, because it's a nice record. So that somebody, you know, down the way wants to know what we're doing. It's a nice record of what we're doing. So just a quick look at some of the things she talked about. And again, this is all in the newsletter. It's nice to see that our membership has gone up, and we'll talk about membership a little bit more in detail. We do partner with the university, and of course, we've all just coming out of the pandemic. That's which has really generated a lot of changes, not only for the center but for the society. Our partnership with Riverwood is very important. We've got a nice collection of telescopes for loans, and I think we've got a very nice website. I was looking at the work that we did a few years ago, and with Rob and Alan working on that. And we do have a new member of the IT committee, Doug Schmidt. So that's great. 291 volunteer hours of public outreach, which is great. We had our events at Riverwood. We also had some other events. Some of our members have gone to specific groups at Toronto Sparks, Cawthra Park Secondary School, Woodbine Middle School, some Cub groups, and Starfest. And this, didn't know this, that somebody gave a night tour at Starfest. That's great. And of course, that big star party that we gave on the campus of the university was quite successful. And we ran our 4-week beginner course at Riverwood again. So this is a picture from Riverwood taken with my new iPhone. So I had to show that. Well, Jupiter and Saturn are in there, so that's pretty cool. We have a listing of all of our speakers. We had some excellent speakers, again, all via Zoom until yeah, I guess they all were Zoom, although the October and November meetings, the October meeting was in person. And a lot of great presentations at our potpourri nights. Betty and Swapna run new member welcoming meetings, and we get a lot of new members every year. So we want to introduce them to the club. I mentioned the picnic that Alan and Val organized. I think Val organized it, and Val just told Alan what to do. So we want yeah, as she's busy chasing the ice cream truck. And again, Betty produced some excellent newsletters, which is a great way to keep everyone informed. So there are some pictures from the picnic, a picture from Starfest, and a picture of our October 1st in-person meeting.
Randy, I think Joe was waiting.
Okay, make a note of that. Oh, and Joe recognized the fact that Kirby ran a members own observing night at his sister's place, Vineland. And how many people were there? Do you remember?
Probably about 20.
Okay, okay, thanks. We'll note that for the minutes. Oh, hey Kirby.
You're muted.
No, he said this about.
Oh.
Okay, thanks. Okay, go away. He's still there. Okay. Unless there are any questions about the secretary's report, thank you for the addition. Any other additions we missed? We do want to recognize everything that we do. Okay, then I will present in our treasurer's absence, the chair of the finance committee, Alan.
Numbers good? Any questions? No, okay. So we're starting with the balance sheet. You can see this is a mouse that is not there. We go. We had about 25,000 in assets at the end of 2021. And at the end of 2022, we had close to 30,000, which is going to get Fred all upset, but we'll get to it. So we're in a very strong financial position. There's nothing else of note here, really. So the net surplus was rather nice. And I won't go into details about why we did so much better than even we anticipated until the next screen, which is, let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yes. Okay. So membership was higher, as Randy mentioned. Yep. What do they see? You're what?
Just Kirby.
Just Kirby. He sees himself. Presenter, but me?
Yeah.
You lucky things. Why did they see me? No, no, not at all. New share. Now what do they see? Okay. I see Kirby. I see what their problem is. Okay. So Kirby, could you turn your camera off, Kirby? That looks like a wine cellar. No, those are cars. Cars. I think wine would be better than, oh, but anyway. All right, let's try again. I'm going to share even though, okay. Now what do you see? No, do they?
Yeah, I see it now.
Ah,
Okay.
thank you, Kirby. Okay, I don't know where I was. Ah, yes, membership. Membership was higher, thus higher membership dues. Donations, we cannot predict what kind of donations we're going to get. So when you renew and associate yourself with the Mississauga Center, you're given the opportunity to add a little bit to our kitty. So if you feel so inclined, perhaps you've just had a raise. Anyway, you can kick in a little extra, and normally you are, unfortunately, National had a change in their membership system. And so for a long time, we weren't getting feedback as to who the individuals were. But now Anil's able to pull that data out. And so your names will appear in the next messenger. The big differentiator this year is the public outreach and the course fees. So public outreach, when Riverwood started opening up after COVID, they started charging individuals who you had to register to attend, and they started charging basically $5 a person, even children, to attend, to register and attend. And the agreement was that they split the fees with us. And what that meant is that we had a substantial amount of money. $3,000 for us as a club is a fair bit of money. You can see it's almost equal to our membership dues coming in that we hadn't anticipated because we hadn't allowed for it, but we're not going to turn it down. We also ran the course last year, as Randy mentioned, and we split the fees on that as well. So there's almost $4,000 extra there that we hadn't really allowed. We had allowed $300 for the course in case we ran one, but it went quite well. We are planning on running it again this year, and I would anticipate that the public outreach numbers will be probably equivalent this year as well. Did I say at the front that Anil is in India and so he couldn't actually present? But anyway, okay. Calendar sales, you can see the amount that we get in of $660 is about equal to the calendar costs of $645. So it's a wash, but it means we're providing a service to our members to get the calendar for a fair bit less than if you went through national. Raffle, unfortunately, at $53 wasn't very great because we had like 2 raffles last year, I think, because we had very few in-person meetings. Maybe one. Yeah, 1 raffle. Okay. Honorary is lower than normal because a fair number of people were profs or people that couldn't or didn't want to accept the honorarium. Most of the other stuff is fairly small. The member event was that's completely the picnic. We spent a fair bit more on the picnic this year because it's our first one in years and it was well received. So we've actually increased the budget for it a little bit further this year. So come to the picnic. Nothing else really of note on the expenses. And I think that's it for a minute. Oh, how do I've zoomed in. So now moving to, there we go. Okay. You saw that we have a very healthy bank balance. And it's not a bad thing to have a bank balance, but we want to use it in a way that will help our members. So we have 2 different options here that we are currently looking at. These are not the full extent, but one of the things that we want to accomplish is a Riverwood setup with electronically assisted astronomy. So you either go with a telescope and a camera and a computer. A telescope has a mount and field flatteners and all sorts of other stuff with a power bank, battery backup to provide power, and various software to do processing, or you go with an all-in-one. This is, oops, I apologize. This is a Unistar, I think it is, Unistellar, thank you. I knew it had something to do with stars, yes. From France, right? I think it's out of France. And it has a built-in camera at the back and will actually broadcast to phones. And so it's an all-in-one solution. It has the advantage of not a lot of little parts that people need training on. So we're still up in the air about which direction we're going to go, but we will have that ready for, if not the first Riverwood, then early Riverwoods. In addition, I don't think we have a slide on it. In addition, we do have 5 telescopes in use in the telescope loan program, and we want to refresh it a bit. We haven't actually bought a telescope other than the solar telescope in probably 15 years, I think. And, telescopes last. Fred was kind enough to repair one of the Dobbs 8-inch Dobbs that we have that was misused. You know, you lend them out and occasionally they're going to get rough treatment. But Fred brought it back better than new, I think. So that's good. We also wanted to slightly improve some of the eyepieces. We can't go too far with the eyepieces because we lend them out, right? So there will be additional costs on that, and that will help to address the large. Yes, I know, Fred. No, we did try and look at this last year, but it was impossible. When we looked at it, I guess we first talked in May or June, and there was just no stock anywhere because boats from China weren't moving, and I think something fell off one of the ships somewhere, but I don't know. You know, it fell off the back of a truck, but it fell off the back of a tug. So that will use but we want to spend it responsibly, but in aid of our mission of public outreach and getting a different view. These certainly, we do have one member, it's a Toronto member, what's his name? John Ginner, yeah, has an electronically assisted astronomy setup that he's been bringing out to Riverwood. He brought it out almost every time, I think, which gives a completely different view of the sky than looking through an eyepiece. So it's a nice adjunct. I wouldn't want to only do electronically assisted telescope viewing for Riverwood nights because people can look at Hubble views if they want, right? But actually seeing, you can get a view of nebulas and things from within the city because you can integrate over time, right? So I think it'll provide a useful add-on to our. Yeah, are there any questions? Your screen, we didn't like you watching because I knew Fred was going to pick on me, so I thought I'm going to have to. Between the two, yes. Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wait and then I'm going to turn it back on. I don't know whether this regularly happens. Are there lights? Someone saw lights before. Okay. Yep. Would you? Okay, good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. We? Who's we? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. A holder of things. Okay. That's why you still have them. So they don't get lent out because no one knows about them. Yeah. We ran a beginner astronomy course at Riverwood. You sign up through Riverwood. And it was 4 nights, 1 a week. And it's, we cover all sort of beginner astronomy topics. And generally, if it's clear afterwards, we have telescopes out so that you can get a dedicated, the people that register for the course can get a dedicated view of something. But that's just a quick little, half an hour. I think it was August. Yeah, okay, September. So we'll talk about it this year. I'm sure stuff went out about it. Yeah. Yeah, you got to read the newsletter. Yeah.
But it does fill up quick.
Yeah, we had 35, 30 or 35, but that's a cap because we run it in a building at Riverwood that holds that many people. You can't have any more. So if you do see it, you should sign up as quickly as it's available for sign up if you're interested. Questions? No, we're good. Nothing online.
There's one thing.
Oh.
Someone just
Okay, we'll get both. Let's get both.
Thank you, Alan. We should have a motion to approve the finances. Alan, do you want to make that?
Sure.
Okay, second? Steve. All right, any other questions about the finances? That's what we decided a long time ago, yeah. Yep. 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 That's a very good question. We're open to suggestions. I'm not one that wants to spend money just because we have it. Something may come up along the way, which might be, hey, if we had $15,000, we could do such and such. So. Oh, okay. The question was, what are we going to do with the balance of money we have in the bank? We said we would keep $10,000 just in case we had to go out and rent rooms, although it would probably be more than that if we wanted to rent rooms for any length of time. Okay, that's 30 cents. Joe needs more lamination sleeves for the membership tags. Yeah, we may need some equipment to support this, but you know, if you're looking at $15,000, we've talked about it. We haven't come up with it. We're not gonna dump it because we have it. Okay, if the membership is interested in talking about that sometime, we can have a meeting and discuss it. I mean, if we want to go out and buy some property in a dark sky site because we're astronomers and we like dark skies, $13,000 isn't going to cut it. So do we want a long, huh? All right. That's right. So we're looking for a suggestion. We've come up with something here. The question was, or the suggestion was, we'll have a reduction in membership, and that's not going to happen. Not on my watch.
Rather than have you repeat. The problem with a reduction in membership fees is manyfold, but the principal thing is that the majority of your membership fees go to national. We get $23. So if we gave all that back to you, we wouldn't get any money in, which would be a problem in some time, but it also would be $23. And do you want to put yourself in a position where people expect to pay absolutely nothing towards the group that's actually running it? We just get the name, we pay for the name, so I think $23, if you think of it as $23 coming to us, isn't much.
An administrative nightmare you're talking about. If you want to do all that, Fred, then volunteer to do it. But you're saying, let's just cut out membership fees for a year. Well, how's that going to happen?
But we can't.
Any reduction, it's all automated through a computer system.
Yeah, you pay it to national, they give it to us. Yeah, so we would actually have to give you a check for $23.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Okay, another comment?
Who knows what opportunity might come up in the future? Maybe as a club, we might want to buy time for our members on a telescope in Chile or somewhere else.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I think it'd be better to, instead of just looking at it going, yeah, we have too much money. It's one of what opportunity can it provide?
Yeah, I think that's what I've been saying is if you've got suggestions, fine.
I will say, one of Fred's suggestions on his thing was some astronomical binoculars that we could take to Riverwood and we could potentially lend out. The only problem with binoculars, as people probably know, is they are prone to going out of alignment. So what I propose is that we get some binoculars, and if they go out of alignment, then Fred will put them in alignment.
I think that could be a motion. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Use
Oh, that's a
that
great idea.
Riverwood supervise
yeah,
as
for
part
sure.
of kit, might be.
Yeah, no, again, we've been talking about this, sorry,
Small tabletop telescope.
small tabletop telescopes. Yeah, yeah.
Very little.
Well, I'm sorry about that. So there are suggestions here. I suggest that we set aside a potpourri meeting to talk about this. And then we just have a Zoom so that everyone can hear it and people bring their suggestions. You know, it's maybe somebody has a suggestion that is very like, but you don't know what you're gonna need the money for. We have some money set aside for a rainy day, but you know, there are some other opportunities. My take on it is, you know, we are a center that doesn't spend a lot of money. We get money based on membership fees, and we've been getting a lot for just public outreach, which was unexpected. So let's think about it. And, you know, I like the idea of time on a telescope or what have you, or, you know, we're trying to spend more money on the picnic. So maybe a marimba band or something. Okay, the suggestion is a sponsor a weekend star party.
But, you know, you can spend $10,500 or $1,000 organized events like that.
Okay.
And members largely take advantage of it.
Okay, so the idea is sponsoring some sort of dark sky weekend for members at some place somewhere. That gonna work? Yeah, no. Okay. The thing with any suggestion is that you need the people to organize and run it, right? So it's just, we're not looking for do this, but hey, we can get a group of people together and do something. Question over here, Steve?
Want to make a comment, and even when I was president, council for Randy, and we had several discussions about money and how to spend it. One of the things that I maintained, right, and as for myself personally, it's like Randy said, we're not spending it just because we have it, right? Is that if the center was fortunate enough to even be left a piece of property similar to like what Toronto has with the Car Observatory, right? Or has an opportunity to get into a piece of property like that. If we have no money, right, we have no option for it. And at least having money in our coffers to see, is it even feasible to do? Just to cover up the legal fees alone, even if it was a gift, right? And to figure out how we would maintain that property financially, right? If we were to dwindle down our reserves to next to nothing, right, even down to the $13,000, it wouldn't even be viable, wouldn't even be an option to do that. So I think in the position that my feelings, right, and I'll maintain this from my position before, right, is having money in the bank, whether it provides the center the options that could become available to us. And that would be a major benefit to membership. I think just spending it on equipment just for sake of, I sell equipment, so I love to see. I'm just buying equipment for sake of buying equipment because we have the money. I honestly think is not in the best interest of the membership and of the center.
Okay. So Steve is just saying that.
Heard that.
Oh, you heard that? Okay. Everyone talk like Steve. Yeah, one more comment, then we're moving on.
Having put out at a potpourri meeting. But I think that you should request submissions from people prior to the meeting, so you can actually post it on the agenda. So people can see it, so they can give it some thought before they get there.
Perfect, yeah. So not only if you have a suggestion how we can spend money, but how you're going to execute that and who's going to help you and how much it's going to cost and what the benefits are and whatever. That'd be excellent. Thank you. Yeah, Keith,
You could mention there was that one instance where someone was looking at buying property, so this is not necessarily just a philosophical or theoretical thing.
Yeah.
It has come up at least once in the past.
Yeah.
It didn't end up coming through to fruition.
Yeah.
But it was discussed quite
Right.
seriously for a while and.
Right.
About two-
Did they hear that?
so I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so Keith just mentioning that a few years ago, there was a member who had an idea of buying some property and running something up in Tobermory, and it didn't pan out, but that would have been an opportunity to invest some of our money in a dark sky site. All right, I want to move on. So thank you, everyone. And yeah, we've made a note that we're going to hold a potpourri and talk about this further because we've been talking about it for a while. I want to present our 2023 council. And when I say your name, please stand up. Randy Atwood. Vice President Alan Connery. Secretary Swapna Shrivastava. Treasurer Anil Mathur. Past President Steve Malia. And if you're in Zoom, you don't just wave. Dr. Ulrich Kroll is our honorary president. Counselor Keith Jarvie. Counselor Rob Neal. Counselor and newsletter editor Betty Robinson. Counselor Val Connery. Counselor Kirby Alvar. And Counselor Chris Malicki. So that's our council for 2023. Thank you. So I want to finish up the meeting with just a few words from some of the various committees. Some have already presented. Do you have anything else on finance, Alan? Yep. So Alan is nope. I mentioned nominating. The nominating committee will have a job to do this year because next year president and vice president positions will be open, I think, as well as treasurer and secretary. Is that right? Yes, so you can see the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, and 2 counselors, and yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Where are we going?
So the nominating committee will be busy. Awards. Chris isn't here, but Betty's going to speak to the awards.
So I'm sure most of you are, if not all of you are aware that we do have awards. And yes, they're posted here, but they're also posted in the most recent newsletter. So if you think there's anybody you know in the center who has done something worthy of one of the awards, then you can send an email to Chris Malicki, and the address is in the newsletter. I think it's just awards at whatever our Mississauga RESC. The deadline is April the 15th. And I think you have to have 1 or 2 names. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think 2 members, yeah. 2 members in good standing, yeah, but yeah, so if you want to nominate anybody, then April 15th is the deadline, and the email goes to the awards at mississaugaresd.ca. Thanks.
Bylaw and Constitution. Leslie, you still chair that? Okay. You want to talk about the work you've been doing on the policy? That'd be great.
It will be a coming soon, so I can keep my remarks short. I've been working on a guide or a manual. We have bylaws for the center, which the Constitution Committee, myself and Chris and Leslie put together about a year and a half ago or so. This was an attempt in the manual to provide a guide to the running of the club that's a little bit more, less legal sounding, a little bit more common language. I don't know if it achieves that entirely, just nature how I tend to write. But that will hopefully be able to be disseminated to the membership in the next little while. I hope is maybe a month or so or less. It's been a labor of love for a consistent period now. I would love to get this done. And so that's about it. So look forward to seeing that. And it, like every other document, will be somewhat evergreen. So if you have a chance to read it, and I hope that you will take a look at it, you can get back to me with any corrections, factual errors, anything that needs to be improved. Again, it's meant to be sort of a common language guideline for how we all run the society, or the center, sorry.
Thank you.
I will. There's not much to say. I can offer that if the young man, who I won't name, but we've been trying to go back and forth and things going on, we haven't managed. So please, I have some time this weekend. Let's talk. I've had one individual volunteer to be part of the light pollution abatement committee. It's kind of a funny committee in terms of its mandate, and that's part of the reason why I'd like to have additional members, because I would really benefit from other people's ideas as to what we could and should be doing. We clearly are not going to solve the problem of light pollution in this area. I'm not sure in terms of advocacy. Many of us were very excited when they installed LED lights. It was only subsequently, I will say, that I learned that there is the broad spectrum lights, which they put in place, and astronomers would like the narrow spectrum because it makes it easier through filters, just doesn't destroy the night sky as much as the ones that we have. They were installed with a 20-year lifetime, unfortunately, and the narrow spectrum lights are more expensive. So there are things we could be doing. I'm not sure if that's one we want to take on. As I say, I would really benefit from other people's ideas. To some extent, dark sky sites may be a part of that because, of course, if you can't beat light pollution, one of the best things you do to avoid it. And so notions of having dark sky sites that might involve some contribution from the center to support a rent space are something I have in mind, but there hasn't much that's gone on in that. The one outcome I would say is that an etiquette guide for dark skies was written. There's been talk about putting on the website. It is not, to the best of my knowledge, there yet, but that's something that I think was given acquiescence the last time the council got together. And it's essentially because when I went around and looked at a lot of dark skies, actually stepping back from that, up at Torrance Barrens, I had a nice night ruined by people with card lights blazing, phones going off all the time, white light flashlights. They don't know what they're missing, and it's ignorance because they just don't know. Nobody's told them. And so I thought it might be useful to have sort of an etiquette guide, which essentially just means keep the light dim. It turns out red, amber, there's a bit of a discussion on that as to which is the best. Dim is the best regardless of the color. So that's the sort of thing that's been going on related to light pollution abatement. But yes, we have one prospective potential joinee when we have a chance to chat. I'm going to keep the barrier to entry very low. But if more people are interested in joining, and especially if you have great ideas, then I would certainly welcome your presence on the committee. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Membership. John Marchese, our membership secretary, has supplied me with this data point, this spreadsheet. So we are up considerably from last year, and yeah, we're continually growing. Any questions for John? He is here. We do get notice that we added 70 members. We always lose a certain number of members, but seems that we always gain more than we lose. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Thanks again, John. Education, public outreach. Our primary outreach is Riverwood. Although there are opportunities to do other things, we do get the odd request. I've had a couple of requests for Cub Scout group. But they want to do something in winter, and I just, weather in winter, come on. Robin Metcalf has volunteered to come on to that committee, which I appreciate very much. So anyone else who'd be interested in at least helping us organize specific events at maybe libraries or other places. I don't want to overuse our volunteer base, which is once a month at Riverwood, but it is always nice to have a supply of people who can go out and give a talk to and get some telescopes set up for various youth groups. So, and even classrooms. I got into a few classrooms last year, and they always just pop up. There are no questions. I'll move on to new members. Betty, do you want to say anything about new members? Just we do run a new members program every couple months or so. Astrophotography. Rob's name is there, but just for the astrophotography contest. We don't have a chair for the I just put his name down there. I keep trying to make him the astrophotography chair, but yeah. So we're looking for someone to, and I have had some volunteers who said that they would help out for astrophotography. It's just a matter of getting them all together and it'd be a committee to promote astrophotography, help new members do astrophotography, just like the observing is to promote observing. So anyone who's interested, please let me know. Promotion social media. We have some accounts that we use to promote what we're doing. We could probably do a little bit more of that. But anyway, we do what we can. For program, always looking for suggestions for speakers, but we've had some excellent speakers from local and also from afar. So the difference now is we will meet with people here at the university to talk about specific speakers. Like and through their connections, we have someone from the Perimeter Institute coming next month. And we've got several of the people on the chemistry and physical sciences faculty who've asked if they can come and talk about exoplanets or planetary geology or whatever. So the partnership is just great. So we should have some interesting talks. As for Potpourri, I would love to get some people to help organize Potpourri. It takes a little bit of time generating ideas. Thanks to the people who have given talks, but I think we're always looking for various types of talks, like talks for new members, talks on different aspects of the hobby. So if you're interested in helping with that, please let me know. Telescope loan. Alan has been doing a great job with his team. I don't know if you want to say anything else.
I did mention that we have 5 scopes. The solar scope is not managed by me. So I had 4 scopes under management. Mateo's now got 1 under management. The way I'd like to run it is to have a scope dedicated to a person. So if anyone has an interest in either the Astro, the Skywatcher, or I think we're going to lose the C8 shortly, probably. So at that point, we'll probably replace it with a telescope of some sort. So if you have an interest in storing 1 telescope, I'm not going to load you up with the 3 of them like I have, endangering my marriage, I think. Please contact me and let me know. And the way it works is if a request comes in, you manage the delivery and training, and asking for it back in a month or so when it comes up for renewal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to update the website. It's the guy that did the website. It's just so difficult.
Okay, I'm gonna continue the meeting here. Can you shut down the,
I don't have any controls.
Randy, we can hear you now on Zoom.
okay. No, you need to cut the speaker out.
No controls.
Okay.
Just try touching it. Welcome to the Davis Club.
Sound is back. Yes. Hello, 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 hello.
Okay. Now it should be on.
Okay. Nope.
Well, this is off.
Okay. I'm just going to continue the meeting and end it, okay? Observing, Kirby, can we hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me, Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say a few words on that. So we're in the early stages of planning about 6 member observing nights over the warmer months of 2023. I've selected 6 weekends as a proposal. They're all kind of new moon weekends, so it'll be relatively dark. There would be one in April, one in June, July, August, September, and October. Probably not one in May because the new moon weekend falls very close or right on top of the May 2-4 weekend, and most of us will be tied up for that. So now we're starting to work on locations. Certainly my sister's place is available as a primary or even as a backup. She's happy to have the club come out there again if we want to. It's dark-ish, but we will look for other locations as well and maybe try 2 or 3 different locations this year. So the members will hear more about this as we get a little bit closer to the first one in about the 3rd week of April.
Okay, thanks very much. I'm going to move on to new business. Is there any new business?
Did you fill us in about what's happening with Sky News? Wendy's favorite?
Okay, Betty can say a few words about Sky News.
Yeah.
You probably saw the email that Randy sent out relatively recently. The society is experiencing financial difficulties. As a result, cuts have to be made. The RESC owns Sky News. Sky News is a wholly owned subsidiary of the RESC, and Sky News has its own board. On Wednesday, the Sky News board met and voted to shut Sky News down. So no more Sky News. However, the editorial board is looking at ways to deliver similar content in another way. A lot of people have sort of said, well, let's just go digital. It's just not that easy. A digital publication to maintain the quality still requires a lot of money to go for editing, design, layout, writers, photographers, artists. So the printing and the shipping certainly are expensive, but they're not the only costs. Plus, Sky News was relying on a donation from the government, and that went down as the membership or the subscriber base went down. And there was not a similar donation available for digital products. There is now, but it's not enough to help. So Sky News is gone, or will be gone. The Sky News board will work out any issues regarding members who have already paid for subscriptions and so on. So that will happen, but as you can imagine, there's a whole legal thing. Robotic Telescope has also been cut, and people have been asking about seeing the financials. The RESC financials will appear as normal as they do every year in the annual report. And there will be a chance to talk about the financials at the annual meeting, as there always is. So that's it.
There's no other new business. I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Marsden, and second by Alan. Any opposed? Thanks very much, everybody. See you at the next meeting.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks, everybody. Great
Thanks.
meeting.
Night.
Thank you.
No.